All right, thank you. Okay. You can definitely we'll definitely capture the screen for the anyone who attended the Zoom call, but anyone here in person will be taking the attendance too for tonight's evening meeting. Any message from the chapter president? So just want to say thanks again for joining us for the second time of the year's meeting. We have started a couple initiatives in both tutorials and some of the events. So you'll be, and I believe some of the members have seen that as we have hosted the first January tutorial event in end of January with the spec innovations from Dr. Steve Dan. So he has presented on the product InnoSlate, and that recording is available from the YouTube link. And if anybody has questions or would like to see another presentation from Spec Innovation, please send an email to the tutorial chair from our website. And the website has been also been updated with the new board members for this year, along with the any of the events coming up in the other news and news. Also, we also include the contact us form so that anybody who's interested can join us or send us a message. So I did receive a message today, so I'll get back to that message after this meeting. So with that, just add a couple more here. Our 2025 end of the year report and Circle Award template has been reported to INCOSE. So we're just waiting on the any of the findings and uh, acceptance. And as I mentioned earlier, we had the one tutorial session last month. This month we have two tutorial session next week. So you'll be seeing those invites from our chapter soon. And also, we're also anticipating a SEP training from the North Texas chapter. So we'll be sharing that through our communication once that's been received. And we've been also sharing our new initiatives and the chapters activities with other INCOSE chapters in the States. So they've been also been happy to share and promote our chapter activities. So glad to hear that, and we'll continue to do that to continue the our chapter's activities and um, continuity. As mentioned, this has also been reflected in the website. As I noted, we have new members joined and continuing from the last year. So here are the current board positions and some of the student chapters that we have partners with from George Mason, Virginia Tech, George Washington. So thanks again for Virginia Tech for their conference space here at Alexandria. Just to highlight on just to reintroduce the student chapter here from George Mason, and here are the contacts. If anyone's interested in learning more or would like to engage with any of the students at George Mason, here's the George Washington student contact info with the faculty POC, and lastly, Virginia Tech with the student names and the faculty contact info. As noted in the last meeting, we are always seeking new volunteers to help out with our committees. And the next slide will be covering imminent committee volunteers for any of the assistants. So please reach out to us from the website. Any of the emails are already there, and you can also, as I mentioned, you can also submit through the contact us form. Okay, so this is a repeat of the last month's slide, and we are still looking for volunteers to assist us to stand up a bylaw review committee. And as we noted, we extended the deadline to February 24th, and the board will be having a meeting to stand up the committee, and we anticipate to stand up the committee first week of March so that activities can start to review the current bylaw and incorporate any new languages and come back to the board for discussion and review. Then it will be sent out to the general members for general vote. And after that um, ordeal, then we'll come back to and discuss the election committee in next quarter. Okay, so with the thanks to the tutorial we had in January with Spec Innovation, the tutorials that you'll be seeing are from MDS and Obeo. So look out for the invitations for those two tutorials this month. Okay, so some of our chapter members attended the IW 2026 at Torrance, California. I believe Tika and Hong are on. So just to Tika and Hong, no, sorry, I'm sorry. Tika is on. Tika, if you don't mind uh sharing a couple minutes on your experience and any go backs that you'd like to share with the chapter,
Sure. Hi,
if
Sean.
you
Can
don't,
you hear me
yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is Paul's slide, but I can cover. There are, I believe, total three slides you can do. You can just scroll one after another. But, overall, I think first, personally speaking, I experienced great sense of belonging, with all the peers, all the other professionals in the field, in the space. And it just validated so much of amazing work we all do through our voluntary efforts and all the CAP members, you put efforts to. That's personal, and I would do it again. And as a result, when I come back, I feel like I want to do more. Uh, Other things are that, some of the folks that you collaborate, for example, student chapters, faculty advisors, or the CAP member reps, I got to meet them in person. And that engagement was so crucial of what we uphold, in our programs and in our vision too. So it was a great experience. And some of the sessions that I personally really enjoyed had to do with AI. I got to participate in sessions, Q&A, and also exposed to all the things that, out there is being done, is being, research about. Lots of great opportunity for anyone to go learn, in addition to making those connections, with the folks you work with. So can you go to next slides? Yeah, some of the pictures, right? So the top right picture, that's Renee Steinwand, our Americas Sector Director. Even though we have chatted, so there are a couple of questions I had on how she can directly support us from the INCOSE level, and I get to do that too, right? And the bottom pictures, as you can see, some of the CAB member reps and also faculty. It was just amazing experience. And lastly, Sean, yeah, more photos, right? There's Steve Dan, our Alejandro, you can see. Yeah. So just to show you, what we did over there in terms of making connections. And we had to enjoy food too, which we did. So it's great food too. So overall, it went really well. Lots of learning opportunities, connections, and I was very proud to represent our chapter. Sean, back to you.
All right, thank you. Um, Give us 1 minute. We have little technical difficulty in the room, so Okay, sorry, checking again. Do you guys see the screen share?
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you.
She can see. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, Mary, are you on? Yeah, I think I'm presenting.
Yeah, this right there.
I don't see
Oh.
Mary on.
Got it. Give us one more minute.
Sean, you went from slideshow to the notes kind of thing that you were showing previously. So you might want to end the slideshow and go back to slide.
Yeah.
All right, apology for the technical difficulty.
That's working.
Do you guys see the screen now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, all right, thank you. So back to the back to the regular agenda. Mary, I think you just joined. Do you have audio? If not, it's okay. So for the membership slide, we have new members, and this is the January data. So we have new members join the chapters. Thank you, 19 of them who joined, and we have new SEP certified of 11, 7 of ASAP, and 4 CSEP. So congratulations to our chapter members who have earned the SEP certificates. Okay. Paul, are you on or?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Mic's working now. Good. So from a communications committee perspective, everybody should have received an email from INCOSE today about INCOSE Connect. This is a new platform that's being rolled out to the general members on February 18th, and it's going to replace the Viva Engage platform, or what used to be called Yammer. So today you just got the notification. Next week you'll get the actual invite to log in. It's the new mechanism for how within the INCOSE community, each of the chapters and working groups will share their information, charts, upcoming meetings, things like that. From an INCOSE WMA perspective, we'll use this platform, but we will continue to also use our existing email, website, and social media streams to make sure we get as broad of announcements out as we can to the entire community and those that are beyond just INCOSE members. So be on the lookout for an email next week and then try and log into the system. During the March monthly meeting, I'll probably do a quick walkthrough of the tool so that everybody can see it.
Thank you, Paul. Since have the mic, would you like to share within a minute of your IW? And also, since I asked you to be very busy with the communications, if you'd like to share any words on volunteers, as I shared in the previous slide, we're looking for volunteers, and especially I think your side of the committee, I think that will be very beneficial.
Yeah, definitely. If anybody's interested in helping out, I definitely could use some help. From an IW perspective, what I wanted to add to what Tika said is, so last year I went to IS, and it's such a different model, the two different workshops. IS, you tend to just sit there in listen mode and hear a bunch of conference proceedings and presentations like that. Whereas in IW, it's much more of a collaborative working sessions. So I know Tika and I both spent a lot of time in the AI working group sessions. It was a lot of fun to actually talk about the problems and potential activities that the working group's going to work throughout the year and who's interested in helping out in different activities. So like Tika said, I felt at home there. I wanted to volunteer for everything and then realized, yeah. So definitely for people who really want to get engaged, either helping me out or one of the other committee chairs, or even looking to one of the working groups is a great way to get involved.
All right. Thank you so much. Do we have Nalini on the call? If not, no worries. As always, our chapter works on newsletters on quarterly basis. So this is just a tentative schedule for the chapter newsletter, and we'll be working on that for the first, Q1 for the towards the end of the March. And also the INCOSE at the international level, they also publish newsletters. So if anyone's interested, there is a site available, and we're also happy to share any of the point of contact if you're interested in sharing or interested in getting that published in the INCOSE newsletter outside of the technical products that all those working groups work on. So, yep. I know that could be a little eye chart, but we have guest speakers lined up all the way to May for now. So we'll be hearing from Andrew this evening, and we have several others, including one of our own in April. So we'll be looking up and share the information on the guest speaker information. Tika, if you're on, back to you.
Thanks, Sean. All right, so this is very exciting, that INCOSE WMA is rolling out first ever Systems Engineering Excellence Awards. And I'm so happy to share that, the 3 student chapters have applications, as you can see on the second bullet, right? GMU1, GW3, VT3. I really want to thank the student leaders and the faculty advisors there to contributing to make it materialize or make it happen this year, right? And the winners will be awarded with certificate and gift card prizes. You see some monetary value of the gift cards there. And you see in the middle of the slide, judges who have volunteered to assess the projects. And if you're interested to be the judge, or please let me know. There's an email address, ambassador@incosewma.org. And on the bottom left, as you can see, I added a couple of weeks more to get the submissions in, and which worked out pretty fine. So I'm really excited about this. And as you can see on the last row of those, waterfall kind of labels, the award ceremony will be happening during April board meeting. And really looking forward to celebrate, what the students have achieved. Next slide, Sean. All right, so these are an ongoing conversation with our CAB members rep. And what I got to do is follow up with Tom from Bechtel to verbally commit to say, for the next year full-time intake, that the company rep himself will be coming to the 3 universities that we have been supporting. And I'm really excited to take that journey to help students, have that job fair kind of session in the fall. And as you can see, General Atomics is another CAP member who have been working with us to share job openings. And finally, for the summer internship, SAIC is in communications with me for possible internship for the summer, including for next year's full-time intake. So what I would like to do is take this moment and also ask if there are CAP member reps who are present tonight. Please do reach out to me. It's a win-win situation, and it's how we add value to our members, right? So I would love to have a follow-up conversation with you, okay? And also, we are going to be collaborating with the program committee, because last year, the resume review sessions with GW was very successful, and it just dovetails so well with that program, for the internship and the job fair. So looking forward to collaborating. Next one, Sean. Yeah, and there are a couple of slides about events, right, that the GM use to host. This one, as you can see, I'm just going to give the quick update on the highlights. If you look at the key dates, right, for this particular conference, the submission for the paper is already out, and March 1st is the final submission. Just to let you know what's happening with our chapter members there. And if you have any questions, you can go to that link on the bottom of the image file on the right side of the slide. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Sean, next one. And this one is another very exciting event that GMU is collaborating to host. This is the competition for the senior capstone project. And if you can look at the date, right? So April 20th is the date. And for this, we have been soliciting interest, being judged as well. And INCOSE WMA have collaborated with the hosting university faculty group to offer, who are available for judging. As you can see, there are 4 judges that we have, collaborated with in addition to their 20 already. So next week, they will have a better picture as to, do we need more judges or not? If we do more judges, I'll reach out to everyone, probably through our communications. But if you are interested to be the judge for this as well, please reach out to that ambassador at INCOSE.wma.org. All right, very exciting. And out of that, our local awards that I spoke about, those projects can be a pathway for these awards as well, because the criteria, when it fits right, that's the way to kind of create that pathway. So hopefully it works out depending on the project type, the awards winners have. Thank you. Sean, next one. Right, and it sounds like I keep asking about the judging opportunities for you. This is another opportunity to contribute your time. This is 2026 Fairfax County Regional Science and Engineering Fair, which happens annually. And the judging day is on March 14th, right? So if you are interested to be the judge, please let me know as well. And there's a link at the bottom. You can take a look or Google search. I'll come actually brief with me what the information about. But these are part of the activities under ambassador that I'm leading to support, engage with the community at large. So I really look forward to helping these kind of events beyond the realm of this university, right? So that'd be great. Sean, I think this is the last one.
Okay, thank you, Tika. So just to share that I participate as a judge for both Sage competition at George Mason and Fairfax County Regional Science Fair last year, and that was a very rewarding experience to go back and see the students and and see what they've been up to on the science fair, and also their capstone project from the system engineering. So, uh, yeah, if you have any time availability, please let us know, and we'll definitely happy to share how to register and be a judge. Okay, so coming back to the tutorials, as I mentioned earlier in the meeting, as I mentioned, we had the first one last month towards end of January, right before IW. We have 2 scheduled in next week, and we have 2 again in March. So if you're interested, our chapter will share the information, and this is all virtual. As for March, there is that OMG conference out at Reston. So the company listed there, they're available to do this. They asked if they could do this in person at George Mason. So our chapter will be coordinating that with George Mason to invite both the students and our chapter members. And the virtual option will be also available if you cannot join in person. So very excited for that. Jeff, are you on
Yeah,
today?
yeah, I am here.
Oh, all
Sorry,
right.
I was a little
Go
late.
ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So you summarized the list of tutorials correctly. Yeah, so next week, as you mentioned, we have Ed Seidowitz and his counterparts are going to be briefing System LV2, their System LV2 product, and then we'll have the following day, we'll have Stefan brief their Capella product, which is another MBSE tool. So,
Okay,
yep.
and Jeff, since you have the mic, I also added you with a lot of new initiative for our chapter this year. Would you like to share one more thing on the upcoming event in March with the academic programs?
Yeah, well, let me have you brief that because I don't have that information in front of me. Unless
Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
it's okay.
Okay.
Then I'll share a little bit. Then I think you can add where I think you could also ask for additional volunteers to
Yeah,
help your
yeah. I was
in
going
the
to follow up with
tutorial.
that. So yeah, if you want
Yeah,
to tell me
so
more about that. Mhm.
yeah, so for those who are in the meeting today, we started another initiative to reach out to the universities in the our local area and also any of the system engineering program that you can do it online. So we reach out to several of the university with the CAB members that Tika kind of shared that there's an INCOSE CAB member representing for the academic side. So any schools in the local area, including all the student chapter schools that we have, plus UVA, Johns Hopkins. I mean, the list goes on, but we have those schools in line contacted, and we'll be hosting that academic program session so that everybody can take 5 to 10 minutes to go through their program offerings of both master's and doctorate in system engineering. And so they'll be sharing that, and we'll try to do that a couple times this year to see, and also we'll see what the pulse check on how that feels with the chapter members and if that's beneficial or not. But there's besides the system engineering that we do it in the work professionally, there's always that higher education opportunity if you're interested in pivoting or learning different discipline within system engineering that now that all these new technologies are combined. So yeah, so I think I added another, don't mean to say burden, but I think I added another ask for Jeff. He's our new tutorial chair. So yeah, Jeff, let me conclude that. And if you want to share your
Yeah,
speech too.
yeah. So I volunteered to take on the academic liaison role just recently, in addition to being the tutorials chair. So if anyone is interested in helping me out, I would greatly appreciate it. So there's a lot of I think great um, you know um, uh, kind of activities are that we have planned for this year. So I would certainly appreciate any help I can get to help make these events a reality and successful. So I'll end there. Back over to you, Sean.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
As for the quarter 1 members event, I don't Tracy is not available today, but we are still sorry. We're still planning for the quarter 1 event, so we'll keep our chapter members posted, and we'll definitely share the our communication methods to make sure that you can register and yeah, join us. Hong or Tika, do you have a couple minutes to share?
Sure, I'll take that one on. Good evening, everybody. I'm Hung Soo, and I'd like to give you an update on what's happening with the PMI, WC, and COSE, WMA, PMSE collaboration community of practice effort. Next slide, please. So the group has linked up with the PM and COSE joint working group. And that's a big deal because that's an international working group that's established since 2011. And they stand up a steering committee to do some work in terms of collaboration between what's happening in the PM area and what's happening with the systems engineering area. They had a couple of sessions, and they're working on updating the PMSE collaboration wiki articles. And there's a bunch of people that's involved in doing that. I believe most of them are out of PMI, WDC. And so it would be great if we can have some participation from INCOSE WMA in there. So the point of contact for that is Mr. Hong. You know, he is a member of a PMIWC, and he is the COP moderator. And of course, you can always send me a note, and I'll link you up with Don, and they got the details. So basically, they're working on updating collaborative wiki articles. There's an online collaborative space that's been offered to them by Dr. Dam, who's one of our members and a member of the working group itself. And they're meeting on a monthly basis and doing updates. And then to try to tie it back together to the COP that's been hosted by PMIWC. So it's a great effort that's being done there. There's a lot of energy. And if you are interested in PMSE collaborative stuff, join the group. So a community practice is a group of people interested in doing things and sharing information. And if you're interested in doing that, please join us. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, I think that wraps up the chapter agenda on the first part of the meeting, and we're now ready for the guest speaker. So we have Mr. Andrew Fischer on the call. He'll be presenting on SAIC's Ready One foundational ecosystem, and I'll give a minute to if to take a look at his bio. He is a very important systems engineer at SAIC in Innovation Factory team, and he can share you with that if anybody's interested in following with him. I'm sure Andrew has a contact info that he could share with the chapter. And with that, Andrew, are you on?
I am here, Sean. I'm here.
Hey, thank you.
Let me go ahead and share screen. And while I'm doing it, I'll give a little intro myself. So that way, let's see. I also want to make sure to share sound just in case there's time for a little video at the end.
Okay, great. We see it.
We don't hear you.
I think you're muted, Andrew.
Oh, all right. Am I there? I think it was the recording function. I think. Can
Yep.
you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Perfect. Awesome. All righty. Well, I'll start over. Andrew Fischer. I am a digital engineer senior manager at SAIC, like Sean mentioned. I am also the Ready One product owner, and so that's what I've been asked to present. Ready One is our platform and digital thread backbone that is allowing SAIC to accelerate our digital engineering journey. So from way back of what was model-based systems engineering to now going. Am I not sharing screen anymore either? I'm not sharing screen anymore either.
Switch to presenter view.
Sorry.
But
Go
now
ahead.
it's gone. I see it.
Okay. All righty. Let's see here. Why is it doing this? All right. I think the audio is just not going to work. So we're going to share screen again and not do it with audio because it's muting my mic when I do the audio. So we're going to go from there. All righty. Can you see my screen now?
No, try again, please.
Oh my goodness. I apologize.
It's okay.
Now it should be
Now
going.
it's good.
Yeah, we see it
All
now.
righty. We're going to speed it up now. So like I mentioned, so a little background of why it started, why Ready One started. So back in 2017, SAIC decided to centralize all of their model-based systems engineering software into an enterprise model-based systems engineering ecosystem. And the reason for this was it was to allow license monitoring and usage, and also to gain economies of scale with our license procurement. And so at that time, SAIC had many programs across many of our different business groups, whether it be Navy, Army, Intel community, space, as well as Air Force. Scattered throughout, we had a bunch of different of these MBSE tools that different programs were buying. And when that program came and went, those licenses came in with it, and there was no ability to share and reuse those licenses. So instead of doing that, centralize it, bring it all together. I got brought off a program doing systems engineering work where I had experience with these tools, and their idea was, you know how to use these tools, you can now figure out how to be the system administrator of them. And so I took over the requirements engineering tools of IBM Doors Classic, as well as at the time going forward with starting to use IBM Doors Next Generation. And then also with system architecture tools being at the time, No Magix, Cameo Enterprise Architecture, and IBM Rhapsody. And then June 2018 is when the DoD releases the digital engineering strategy, which basically kind of doubled down SAIC's investment in understanding that this is the digital engineering, model-based systems engineering is the way to go, and to put more emphasis into it. And so over the next few years from there, leading up to about 2020, the ecosystem grew with users and software, and what formed not just a model-based systems engineering ecosystem, but a true digital engineering ecosystem, where it was the addition of mission engineering tools, simulation tools, and mechanical CAD tools like AGIS STK for space satellite constellation analysis, Phoenix integration for optimization type simulations, MATLAB, MathWorks MATLAB, and Dassault Systems SolidWorks were the main core tools that were used. And then in 2020, we all know what happened in that great year. Not just my first son was born, but a global pandemic, and we had a need for remote collaboration, and an expansion of this DE ecosystem created new challenges for this. And so the requirement for faster development, faster innovation and adoption, as well as access to the software from all across the United States was our new challenge. And so that's where kind of the birth of Ready One comes to be, is SAIC and my team made the decision of migrating from our on-prem data center that was managed by our corporate IT staff, and we decided to move that to an AWS GovCloud environment. This allowed us to have new modern compute infrastructure, so we could grow and add resources to these growing capabilities a lot quicker than traditional bare metal and virtualized bare metal. And it allowed greater collaboration with remote processing as well. One of the big things, we reduced the barrier for entry to access this digital engineering software. So instead of having to require all of these thick client applications being installed on an individual's laptop, it opened the doors up for having compute processing specific either workspaces or app streams stood up, so that those tools could be just used through a browser, and instead of actually having an engineering laptop. So instead of having this beefy, thick laptop that had the amount of RAM that you needed, all you needed was a internet connection and a computer. Technically, an iPad would suffice, but I never recommended people using iPads to do engineering work. And then with that, as we were building this out and as the domains continued to build out, there was the need for the creation of the digital thread. And so we leveraged Aris Innovator, and a little bit more on that to come, which is a PLM tool, but leverage that to build on that and create a digital thread concept. And then the last thing is the point of also moving to the cloud was being able to create a rapidly deployable ecosystem. And that way that if we ever needed to lift and shift or deploy it to one of our customer environments, we would be able to do that. And so now, so originally that was done through AWS CloudFormation and creating scripts through that and their Lambda functions for automated processing. And now we have it through, containerized Kubernetes deployments. All right, so moving into today's Ready One. And so Ready One, like I mentioned, the background was a rapidly deployable digital ecosystem. In the government space, we like to acronymize everything. So it's RDDEE. And then we phonetically tried to read that acronym. And so it sounded something like ready. And then immediately once this came available, everyone was calling it ready. But then everyone said, it's not just ready, it's ready on day one. And so Ready One. And then that's when it kind of got put together in form of a brand where it's now registered trademark to SAIC for our digital engineering ecosystem. We have put it out into a couple different competitions throughout the years, whether it be government competition, conferences and trade show competitions, or just industry analysis competitions like the Business Intelligence Group, where they gave it an innovation award in 2024. That QR code and link down there, that's just, if you want more information about Ready One, that takes you to the SAIC public page for Ready One. So it gives you another high level overview of what it is. And also there's some contact information there. I'll leave my contact information at the end, but that's another way to get it. All right, so what all do we do on the ecosystem? So like I mentioned, it kept growing and growing. And so in terms of the engineering piece of it, like I mentioned, it started with requirements engineering and systems engineering, really with that model-based systems engineering approach. Then it branched out into more of that mission engineering aspect and the cyber physical development of, building out more of your mechanical design. It is now continued along that, the systems engineering V life cycle where we now do DevSecOps. So instead of just splitting out into a hardware use case, you can split out into that software use case as well and have your requirements and system architecture derive and start sending that information to your software engineers as well. Moving into that test management. So any of those requirements that we firstly are tracing to, having that reverse at the end of it, where we're able to do validation and verification of those requirements through either analysis containers or other, either field test or, advanced rapid prototyping. And then as it gets to become a field thing, driving more into sustainment and obsolescence. So having that connection to not just the manufacturing, but also the maintenance and obsolescence of when parts are becoming obsolete and having to replace those and creating those maintenance track records. And all that will then drive into that digital twin that we all think about and talk about and want to strive for, is that digital twin and the amount of big data that we're now getting from these systems, complex systems where all this sensor data is coming in and we have a big data problem. And how do we get that? How do we turn it into something that we can wrap our hands around it and then feed it back into that as designed, and then also into the as built system. All that now, doing all of those different things in the different domains, we want our engineers doing those things in their domains and not necessarily changing what they do, but we still have to have a cognizant idea of bringing it all together and having that traceability. And that's where the digital thread comes in. Being able to keep the authoritative source of truth in those modeling tools, but being able to pull on the data that we want, not all data. You don't need to pull in all the data, just the required data that you want to be able to trace and put under configuration control. And so this is a good kind of overview of what is in the catalog of tools in here. So I kind of start from the bottom and I go up. So our digital engineering ecosystem is all built on our internal platform is built on AWS GovCloud. It is a DFARS compliant environment, so it allows us to handle controlled unclassified information from the U.S. government. And then building on top of that, That's where the system administration of all the domain softwares comes into play. I mentioned in the last slide all the different domains. You can kind of see them all across the board, and having those available ready for those users. And then it goes into our third-party connectors. Those third-party connectors allows us and enables us to get the data, whether through open APIs, through thick client plugin capability, to get that rich data from those engineering modeling tools and be able to move that data into Eris Innovator. So Eris Innovator, PLM software, it has a great open API, and they also do a great job allowing their code tree to be open to allow you to do your own customization. So the way that we've designed our digital thread with our subject matter experts at SAIC to say, hey, this is how we do engineering the SAIC way, allowed us to create the digital thread our way. That doesn't mean that SAIC's way is the right way or the only way. That's why Eris allows us to customize and configure it to our customers' needs. So if we bring this to any of our customers, they can tailor it to their workflows, their processes, and we can make it right for them, not just right for us. Alrighty, so the digital thread. So this is an exact real life example here. We did a pilot program with completely sample unclassified data, so there's no worries there. But it was with Army DevCom's Picatinny Arsenal, and they wanted to do some testing and show them the digital thread. So what you're seeing here in the spaghetti matrix, as I call it, is just one requirement on the far left. So we all know we have more than one requirement in these complex systems, but this just goes to show you how complex the systems are, and a human's not able to know all of these traceabilities. And that's why the digital thread is so powerful. And so what you see on the left, that's requirements coming from doors. It is just a minimum range requirement to say that this catapult system, shall launch a device a certain distance. And from there, you have a bunch of different functional elements in your system architecture that then lead into your SysML logical architecture. So you'll see that represented in the dark blue and the light blue boxes. And then as it flows into the purple is when you're getting into the actual PLM of Eris, and that's when you're getting to parts and getting to assemblies of parts, and then into detailed parts. So you can see all the way down at the right, you'll get just a simple wing nut on there. And then from there, you can see the exact connection to the 3D CAD that is coming from. In this case, it was SolidWorks that we were bringing that CAD data in for. So if you have a large assembly like the catapult itself, you're going to have a represented 3D CAD element with it. All that 3D CAD can be viewed and shown in Eris Innovator itself. There's no need for an engineer who wants to kind of do a quick analysis of it to have to go into the disparate tool. They can go in here, they can click on those CAD elements, and they can get a 3D representation right in the tool. And then one of the last pieces to mention is the analysis container in the top left. This is where it allows us to, depending on where we are in the life cycle, if we want to do some sort of a simulation, advanced prototyping simulation, we can send the inputs out into the analysis container. Depending on what you want to, what simulation you want to run, we either have quick access simulation buttons right inside of Eris Innovator that auto starts that simulation, or if it's a complex government created simulation software, what we do is we just send the inputs out through Open API, send those inputs to that software. That software then takes the inputs, runs that simulation, creates the outputs, and then those outputs get sent back. Those inputs and outputs are then put under configuration control. And that's the most important part about this entire digital thread is the configuration control. Each one of these elements has a version and a revision number. Each one of the lines that you see connecting one element to another, showing that traceability, those are under configuration control. So when you see an element here and here, and you see that line, this line is under configuration control. That what it's saying is this is a valid connection to show that this part, this flathead screw, that's version A revision 17, has been approved and baselined with this version A revision 1 of this flathead screw. Anytime someone wants to come in and make a change into this digital thread, they have to put the change in, and it goes into an impact matrix, which then creates an upstream and downstream analysis of what is impacted in that system. So if someone is just updating requirements because the requirement spec from the government has changed, they can go in and update that requirement. Everyone downstream will get notified that there's now an update to this requirement. They need to check their analysis, check their elements to see, hey, does it still meet the original requirement that we thought? Does this new change now impact my design? And we have to now do new analysis, new design on it. So I'll stop there quickly while I catch a breath and just see if there's any questions so far. And I don't have the chat up, but I don't know if there's any questions in chat. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Alrighty, easy crowd. I like it. Alrighty, so this is my favorite part is you don't have to trust me that it does this. Just take my word for it. This is available for you all to see. And so this right here, you can use the QR code, or you can just go to that URL that's up there, readyon.net/information. It's a publicly accessible page. You'll see all of these demonstration videos. They're all little vignette videos to show the digital thread. They're all between, I think, 2 and 5 minutes or so. And it can show you how you can do a full life cycle of traceability of a complex system. And so whether it be starting from requirements or going into the system architecture one also has a flair of simulation where it's connected to Model Center MBSE. And so it allows you to do, it does a little bit of a simulation run on material change to the design. And it'll run you, and it runs through that capability as well. And so I recommend everyone going to there. Those videos can be downloaded from that page. So if it's something where you just want to take that video and either store it locally or share it with someone, you have that ability to do that. Alrighty, and so this is just a high-level thing of what kind of we've done with Ready One, just for all of my colleagues out there who provide support to the government. The platform is a compliant, DFAR compliant platform that can handle CDI information, which is CTI controlled technical, or CUI controlled unclassified information. We get our ATO currently right now just from internal sources with and from our governance, risk, and compliance that meets the government standards. We are CMMC level 2 self-assessed. Currently, the Department of War in their CMMC certification process mandates that we have to have at least a self-assessment certification to CMMC level 1 or 2. Level 2 if you want this data on there, and so we meet that. We don't have an impact level. Aren't sponsored by a specific government entity because we are open for all of our SAIC partners and programs to use it. So it's not just one agency sponsoring it. So because of that, we don't necessarily have an impact level or a FedRAMP analysis. Let's see here. Go to question. We'll provide what categories of information should comprise a digital thread. I'm thinking digital thread should comprise top-level measured performance parameters and heavily influenced by circuits work and digital touch. A real question is whether architecting changes the style of magic draw models. Yeah, I think you're right. So Joe, I'm not sure what you go by, but you're exactly right. So one of the things that when we were developing and building the digital thread, and I go back to here, is as you can see, when we brought in elements from the system architecture, we didn't bring in all the elements, all the data of a system model. We only brought in the really elements that we really wanted to trace to and bring to, because not all data is necessarily the data that we want to be tracing to or to be validating against. And so you're exactly right. Those top level measures, what are those performance requirements? What are those specs and those things? Those are the things that we really want to track first. Now, I'm not going to tell anyone not to, go into more fidelity and to create more rigor in their design process and go and, keep digging down and going down to further analysis. I think that's always a good thing. But I think especially when you're starting to create the initial digital thread capability, start light, start small, and build those things from there. All right. Perfect. Alrighty, so mission environment. So I talked about the Army DevCom pilot where we did something for them. We've also done things for the Navy as well, and then we have also created a separate instance of this for our what we call Viper, and that's for our some of our government folks in the space intel world, where we've created an environment for them. And like I mentioned, the core root of this was engineering, was systems engineering, and then it grew to becoming all engineering disciplines, and then it really grew from that even to program management capabilities of being able to, if all my engineers are going here, this is a great place that maybe my program manager or my program analyst can then go and review metrics of where people are on track and of deliverables and procedurals, things like that. And so we have program management and metric dashboarding. Things like Power BI have been able to be integrated into our platform. Wiki knowledge management things, thinking of things like Confluence or SharePoint type sites. We have a training app that we were able to put onto the platform that allows people to create little vignettes of training, whether that be in digital engineering software tools or whether that is typical annual compliance training that a program has to do, putting it in there. And then everyone's favorite, I saved it for last, AI, machine learning. Everyone wants to talk about AI, machine learning, so I saved it for last. That's the new place that everyone's going. Currently, right now, we have investments going into what we call AI for digital engineering. That was where we, do typical, requirements engineering type of work with, large language models, being able to do TDP ingestion with the same large language models that allows us to get our engineers from doing a lot of tedious, monotonous tasks and gets them to doing their engineering work a lot faster and smoother. So a little overview there is it's a turnkey, accessible, and compliant ecosystem that we've now made accessible to our SAIC community, but we've now made it accessible to our subcontractors, to our government partners, as well as what I'm going to shamelessly plug, Ready One Foundational, where that is our commercial offering. So I know I don't want to sell it too much, but we now have this available to be a commercial thing. So if anyone out there is interested in, at least they're on the digital engineering journey, on a model-based systems engineer journey, and they need some help or some support in that way, that's what SAIC does. We do it for the government. We do it for not just the government specifically, but also we can sell it business to business to another commercial entity as well, and come in there if you want to start small with a small Cameo and Teamwork Cloud deployment or a requirements tool deployment. We can do that. If you want to do the full scale thing, we can do that as well. And then, like I mentioned, a little plug, it's available on the AWS Marketplace as well as the Eris Marketplace as well as a commercial offering. So with that, thank you guys for this opportunity. This was a great opportunity for me. This is my chapter as well, so I'm a glad member of this chapter. So if you guys have any questions long term, I am always able to be found. I can put my name and contact information in chat. And then Sean, I don't know if there's another way where I should, I know you have my contact info, but if there's another way that I can share my contact info with the rest of the membership, that would be great as well.
Yeah, thank you. Will do. And this session is being recorded, so this link is always available to review by our chapter members. And your contact info is in our membership roster, so that's also available to share anybody interested. Yeah, so thanks again for today's presentation, and if anybody reach out to you for the presentation, is that publicly allowed to share or?
Yeah, so I got the go ahead to present it. They're doing the final things for me to officially share the package, but I should be able to share the package with anyone who needs it, or if we want to put it on the website. I should be able to do that here once it gets through all the checks and balances of the company.
Okay, thank you. Let us know, and we'll
Yep.
definitely share for anyone who's interested in following up with you. Okay, and I do see your contact info in the chat, so thanks so much.
Absolutely.
So thanks again. So with that, we do have a couple more slides to cover today. So let me go back to the screen, share. And do you guys see the screen sharing
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
for those online? Okay, thank you. Okay, so INCOSE just had a IW, so IS is coming up in June, and it will be hosted in Japan this time. So if anybody's interested, that's the link. So um, we'll see if any of our chapter members could go. And with that, let us know if you guys have any questions too. We'll be happy to answer any questions. And second to lastly, this is as mentioned in the previous monthly meeting, our chapter is sponsoring the systems engineering federal job series. So that's the link to the change.org for the petition. And I have been also reposting our chapter LinkedIn posting on this. So if anybody's uh, feels strongly about this and would like to contribute, you can definitely visit the website and we'll take the action. And once we achieve certain goal, the next step of this petition is for our chapter to send letters to our congressman, congresswoman. So we'll definitely share more details about that later this year once we can achieve this initial milestone. Okay, so just to wrap up, our next meeting is in March 11th, Wednesday. We still have a couple board activities to do for ourselves, and as mentioned, just another reminder for bylaw review committee volunteers and any of the committee volunteers that you heard from Paul and Jeff earlier. And if anybody's interested in those student activities, chapter activities that Tika mentioned earlier, definitely let us know. And you guys know our website, so feel free to contact us through any of the emails or just submit a contact us free form. And I believe that's it. So thank you so much for joining, and thanks again, Andrew, for today's presentation. See you guys next month.
I'm just looking at the chat and see, okay, they're just saying.